Good.
There any Francis is unwell.
Lord Mayor? Yes, happy to report for all sorts of apologies. Thank you very much. Agenda item 3 is... Oh, sorry, Councillor Martin's on the phone, please. Okay, thank you. So agenda item 3 is declarations of interest. Please can I ask whether any councillors have any interest to declare regarding the items on today's agenda? Thank you. Agenda item 4 is minutes of the previous meeting. I move that the minutes of the previous meeting of full council held on the 9th of July 2024 be agreed as a correct record. Do I have a second? All right, I second the minutes and I observe the remarks. Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. Can I take it that the minutes are agreed? Thank you. Agenda item 5 is Lord Mayor's business. Council notes the sad news that Laura Welton has recently passed away. Laura was a tireless advocate for the rights of disabled people in Bristol. She spent over 20 years working at and eventually leading the Bristol Disability Equality Forum. She was a valued Bristol Disability Equalities Commissioner and helped create the world's first disabled person-led community climate action plan. Her passing is a great loss for the city and people with disabilities in particular. Council also notes the sad passing of Bruce Simmons, former chair of the Lord Mayor's Charity Appeal. Bruce was a well-known figure in Bristol, passionately supporting many charitable organisations across the city. He was two-time president of Clifton Rotary Club and was chairman and treasurer of the Lord Mayor Bristol Children's Appeal, which is over 100 years old, where he served for over 50 years. In that 50 years, he raised around £3 million for disadvantaged children in Bristol through donations, fundraising dinners and events, sponsorship, bucket collections, carol concerts and much more. Bruce received the Lord Mayor's Medal in 2017 and the Guild of Guardians Charity Award in 2023. I'm delighted to say that Bruce's wife Kathy, son Ian and members of the Charity Appeal have joined us in the chamber today. Our thoughts are with you all at this sad time and we will all miss Bruce very much. Last month I attended a memorial service for Bruce at Clifton College Chapel together with the Deputy Lord Mayor, Councillor Paul Goggin. Unfortunately, Paul isn't here today, so I'd like to ask Councillor Reynolds to say a few words of remembrance on his behalf. Councillor Reynolds.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. As I said, I've been sat on behalf of Councillor Goggin to please take it in that spirit as well. This may seem odd coming from someone who only knew Bruce for less than a year due to my truncated tenure. It's had a remarkably long-lasting effect on me, and I'm sure most others that you met with. I first came across Bruce with his health hat on, resplendent in his Lord Mayor's Charity Appeal for resident tabard and shaking a bucket. Smugglers. There was my charity gala for underprivileged kids in Bristol, a cause which he dedicated his time and energy to for a remarkable 50 years. Dressed in tuxedo like a slightly smaller than life-size James Bond, perhaps 006 and a half. And at a Rotary Club lunch, I arrived expecting a posh meal, but thankfully it was far more to my liking. Gammon chips. I look forward to returning there to speak, as per his wish. But the one thing he accessorised all his outfits with at all these occasions was his amazing smile. Warm, compassionate and highly infectious. It involved not just his mouth but his entire face. Indeed, as the Hokey Cokey song goes, he put his whole self in. It will always be my overriding memory of him, beaming up at me, and no doubt now, being down on all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Reynolds. I would now like to ask full council to stand if they wish and to observe the minute silence. Next is agenda item 6, public forum. 30 minutes will be allowed for this item, which is split into 15 minutes for petitions and statements and 15 minutes for questions. Details of the petitions, statements and questions received are being published on our website. I'll go through the list, calling on those that have indicated they plan to attend the meeting. Speakers are asked to pay attention to the traffic lights on the dais and to start to wrap up when the lights turn to amber. There were no public forum petitions received for this meeting. There were a total of 21 public statements received, and this will be displayed on the screen. 12 members of the public indicated that they plan to attend and speak to their statements. And they are displayed on the screen, and we'll run through those statements in order. I invite each person to speak for 1 minute. Please summarise your statement, and bear in mind they were published for councillors and the public to read in advance of the meeting. So first, do we have Suzanne or Audrey here?
Yes, I'm here.
So Suzanne, your statement is on accountability and openness, and remember you have 1 minute.
Thank you. In response to a recent Freedom of Information request about meetings the ex-mayor Margaret Rees held in March 2024, the response from Bristol City Council was, the information you requested is not held by Bristol City Council. The mayor's inbox and communications were shut down upon him leaving office. It should be possible to make an FOI request about meetings and decisions involving the recent elected mayor and to gain a response. I hope the leader of Bristol Council and the relevant officers will look into this and ensure that information is available for those who make relevant FOI requests. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Suzanne Audrey. Next we have public statement number 2 from Nigel Varley. Is Nigel here? No? Oh, yes, okay. So, Nigel, your statement's on Guilty House Tenants Association cladding remediation costs compensation.
Right, I started making the same arguments over and over again, as you probably are listening to them, or not listening to them, as the case may be. But I do want to emphasise certain things. First of all, you say that the payment is goodwill, that is charity, which is outrageous. It's a debt that you owe us for additional heating costs caused by Council's negligence, poor planning and project management. The recent audit summary indicates contractual and planning failures by the Council. Why should we carry part of the cost of these? £147 is obviously not enough in the case of Field House for 2 winters without insulation. You say that is all that there is in the budget, and yet you pay the contractors for budget overruns because you have to, but not to us because you think you can get away with it, and that's an abuse of power. You say that the council is broke. We suggest it sorts itself out and collects a 229 million quid so by uncollected debt. Finally, we're told that the £147 is a one-off payment for this year only. The cladding remediation programme has perhaps another 8 years to run, so it affects most of the council wards represented here. By what right?
Nigel, could you wrap it up now, please?
Okay, by what right does a small group fix what is in the budget for years to come?
Thank you very much. Next we have public statement 4 from Matt Sanders. Is Matt here? Yeah. Matt, your statement is on the Cumberland Road bus gate.
Since January, the Cumberland Road bus gate has issued 55,000 penalty charge notices, so is currently the least effective bus gate in the entire country. In May, I itemised 25 faults in the design and signage, but transport officers claimed that nothing was wrong, so no changes were made, and another 20,000 fines were issued since then. In recent weeks, I've won 7 appeals to the Traffic Penalty Tribunal, whose adjudicators ruled that the signage was inadequate, so the transport officers' claims are now discredited, and they've added 2 new signs in Gascoigne Road. The Traffic Management Act says that if a council is reviewing its signage, then it should suspend the enforcement until improvements are made. But the council has not suspended the enforcement, which has carried on throughout. My written statement also shows how, back in May, the Transport Chairman tried to impose a moral code on the issuing of multiple PCNs, but his worthy aims were frustrated by senior managers and executives whose only concern was to preserve the revenue stream. I therefore urge all councillors to study my written statement and support the Transport Chair's original proposal.
Thank you, Matt. Okay, next we've got...
that it is contrary to council policy regarding council car parking. In preceding years, I've contacted housing officers by the score, all to no avail.
Sorry, you've had your minutes, I'm afraid, so we need to move on to the next person. But we have all read your statement, so thank you very much indeed. So the next public statement is number 15 from David Redgewell on public transport. David, 1 minute please.
Be very quick, but the issue is the city centre. We are extremely concerned about the proposals by the City Council and the West Midlands Miracle Authority, it's a joint project, to remove buses from certain parts of the city centre, and particularly to remove the right turn for National Express and buses into North Somerset from outside the bus station for correct cycleway. Disabled people need to move around the city. I'm the bus advisory panel member for equalities and diversity on Wacker and North Somerset. We are extremely concerned. We welcome that Ed wants to review all this, but we really must have access. And First Group and Stagecoach are objecting and National Express are raising concerns. So I just asked Wacker, Mayor Dan Norris and Council Clyde to work together with the other leads in the West Midlands Combined Authority area and North Somerset to find a solution that doesn't ban disabled people and makes our bus service flow very, very successfully around the city centre. It's the private car our target, not public bus services. Buses need to remain in the city centre, accessible to all. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Next is public statement 16 from Bonnie Welch, Saving New Tree Farmers. Bonnie here? No. Okay, we move on to public statement 17, George Ferguson and others. Is George Ferguson or another representative here? No. Okay, public statement 19 from Eileen Grockland on the Silver Motion. Is Eileen here? No. Okay, so public statement 20, Harry Burnett on the integrity and accountability of councillors has vanished. Yes, please. 1 minute.
Good evening. Housing in Bristol is ridiculous. The average rent is rising at an unaffordable rate, and it seems like the council is taking a back seat on it. Decisions like scrapping the council involvement in rural housing in an open meeting with no discussion or vote by a decision of the chair seems opaque and unacceptable in modern democracy. Where is the due process, or has the council resigned itself to backdoor dealings? Councillor Mack has said it's important for decisions affecting the city to have been made behind closed doors by just one person whom the public and elected councillors cannot easily challenge. How is that different now? I hope that members involved can take some time to have an introspective moment on this matter and perform their public duty to a higher standard and with audibility. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Harry. And public statement 21 from Brendan Taylor. Is Brendan here? No. And just to check, did Melissa Topping come back? Yes, so Melissa, your statement is on stopping the EVLN until you have a majority of community in support. 1 minute, please.
Hi, so I'm speaking on behalf of Melissa today. We're part of a community group that have come together to help support the disadvantaged people of the East Bristol Liverpool Neighbourhood Scheme. We would like to request that you stop until you've got the majority of people in support of your scheme, because we have lots of disadvantaged people in the area. There'll be increased bills. The transport infrastructure isn't cheap for those people in those areas. Additionally, it's a safety concern on fire engines and emergency vehicles getting through the area, as well as increasing travel time for doctor's appointments and so on. So that's our statement for today in summary. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Melissa. So we will now move on to public questions received. The questions received have been published on the website and are shared on the screen. 25 questions were received from members of the public, and 15 of those have indicated they wish to attend. We will now try to cover as many questions as possible in the 15 minutes available. It may not be possible for everyone to speak, so we ask your patience as you run through the questions in order. When I call on you, your question will be displayed on the screen. The leader or relevant chair will reply verbally to your question. Following the reply, you will be invited to ask a maximum of 2 supplementary questions. So we'll start once again with public question 1 from Susan Woodring. And Susan, your question is on accountability and openness, and that's for Councillor Dyer to respond to. Councillor Dyer, please.
Thank you for your question, Suzanne. The Council's document retention policy applies to all officers and members irrespective of seniority and follows Local Government Association best practice. In response to the second part, in line with the Council's email retention policy, the inbox was deleted after 30 days. Email is not our recognised storage system. Documents will be kept in their relevant line of business system. And for the third part, the normal FOI process will accommodate requests for information still held, providing it is suitable for disclosure, i.e. not exempt.
So, Suzanne, you've got a total of 2 supplementaries, if you wish.
Thank you. I didn't understand that. So I'm just wondering if you could explain, if somebody puts in a freedom of information request and asks to see the emails of decisions that were made in about the last 3 months of the elected mayor's tenure, will they be able to see those emails, which in the past we've always been able to see emails that were related to important decisions for the city. Can you just say, will people be able to get hold of this? Because I didn't understand your response.
Okay, I don't know if the monitoring officer will respond to that in terms of email retention.
Very briefly, if I may, Lord Mayor. So the Council's retention policy is, as the leader has said, applies to all councillors and staff, and the Mayor's inbox will have been deleted in accordance with that retention schedule over the course of the summer. So there's not much more I can say on that other than the fact that the email is not our recognised storage facility, and we have other document retention, case management systems and the like, where relevant materials that officers and councillors have worked on over a number of years, and information that's held in those systems would, of course, be searched in line with any information request that we receive. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Suzanne, did you want to ask a second supplementary?
Yes, please. I still haven't had an answer. So is the answer yes or no? Are those emails stored somewhere that people could actually see them? I don't understand what you're saying. Are you saying no, those emails have completely disappeared, and if somebody did a search, they won't be able to see any emails for the last few months that relate to very important decisions? Please, if the monitoring officer is going to reply, could he reply to me, and could he say yes or no as to whether those emails will be available? Thank you.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Just to be clear, if we hold information that relates to the former directly elected mayor and it's held in any of our other information storage systems, then we receive a freedom of information that relates to that information, then we will go through the usual process of considering whether it should be disclosed or whether it is exempt from disclosure in line with our information policies. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you very much. We now move on to public question 4 from Nigel Barley on fire safety in Tower Court. One question for Councillor Parsons.
Thank you very much for your question. It's quite a lengthy answer, I'm afraid, but I'll do my best to go through step by step. So, first of all, we've put in place proactive mitigation for all blocks with the highest fire risk rating, including Waking Watch. Programmes of work are being developed to identify and remediate any property without sufficient detection. And additional interim mitigations are being implemented for these properties, including letters and phone calls to inform residents. We're also progressing a sprinkler installation programme, and we are reviewing the future programme as part of the current budget setting process. All of our flat front entrance doors have FD30 fire doors, so that's a fire standard. Routine inspection and a remedial programme has recently commenced. Residents can report any issues they may feel that they have, or if you wish to have an inspection to ensure that their doors are fully operational. Now, audibility of fire alarms depends on the evacuation strategy for the building. So, where there are communal alarm systems that have been fitted and they're not linked to flats, for those with a stay-put strategy, these are audible for residents within the communal areas. Buildings and flats operating a simultaneous evacuation strategy are audible, and these systems are inspected on a weekly, quarterly and annual basis. So any remedial works required are then recorded and completed. So some blocks have only one staircase without refuges. This is true in these configurations are refuges. This is true in these configurations are reflected within the fire strategy for those blocks. On personal evacuation plans for tower block residents with limited mobility, we are progressing a person-centred fire risk assessment policy, and that will include personal emergency evacuation plans. The policy on mobility and electric scooters has a robust operating procedure, we believe, and this is going to be informed by staff within the housing service, so not requiring landlord, not requiring wardens. We're progressing the cladding removal programme, that's a priority programme, and we are working with central government departments to look at feasibility for accelerating this programme wherever it's possible. And we're introducing a new process for fire risk assessments, new specialist resource, which will improve performance with respect to this. And finally, resourcing and investing to meet the expectations of a considerable breadth and depth of legislative updates, so new legislation, new regulation that we have to conform to. That's a considerable challenge for our housing service. However, resident safety is our #1 priority. The budget setting process will continue to reflect the need to prioritise our duty of care to our residents.
Thank you very much. Nigel, you have a supplementary question if you wish.
I'm challenging Councillor Parsons on a number of issues that, judging my experience, I don't think I'm allowed to do it. My question is I'll ask two questions at the same time, if that's possible.
No, you've only got one supplementary.
I'll supplementary question, all right. I'll combine it then. It's a question of timing. Do you feel that there is still a danger of a Grenfell Tower style disaster in a Bristol tower? And if so, what's the timing of this programme of remediation? I appreciate that things are underway, but it's timing. And when will you let residents know in their block what the programme of remediation is? Because we don't know. We've no idea how long it's going to take.
So, there is, I believe, no risk of a disaster of the same form as Grenfell. So our blocks do not have the same form of cladding as Grenfell did. But we do have an ongoing remediation programme, a cladding replacement programme for those blocks that do have do have cladding that doesn't conform to the modern fire standards. So for those blocks, we have fire procedures in place, like Waking Watch, the sprinkler systems and the alarm installation program that I was discussing, to make sure that all of our residents are safe. So we're progressing at pace, and we're always looking for opportunities to increase the pace at which we deliver those improvements.
Thank you. Public question 5 from Paul Wheeler. Is Paul here? Yeah, thank you. So Paul, you had 2 questions for Councillor Dyer on the Council's pay policy. Councillor Dyer, please.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. As part of its pay policy statement, the Council has adopted a ratio of 10:1 between the highest and lowest wages, and remains committed to staying within this limit. The Council pays no less than the real living wage as set by the Living Wage Foundation, which has increased substantially in recent times in line with the rising cost of living. For the second part of your question, pre-existing recruitment and retention challenges have increased in intensity in recent years, which means that on occasion the Council needs to engage agency workers or interims at pay rates above those that would apply to permanent post holders. This occurs in professional or registered roles as well as at senior leadership level. Appointment at Director, Executive Director and Chief Executive levels are made with the involvement of a selection committee of councillors. Chief Executive approval is required for all agency worker interim engagements where the pay rate is at or above that of a permanent director.
We've got 2 supplementaries if you wish.
My supplementary is the leader didn't actually give any commitment, as I'd asked for, to a reduction in the highest and lowest pay ratio. So can he answer that? Is the Council committed or not to continuing to reduce the pay ratio year on year? And secondly, I would ask, would he also comment on whether the Council would adopt a policy of not paying above the highest paid member of staff for interim appointments off payroll?
Okay, answer to the first one. Currently our ratio is 8.58:1, so we have reduced it from that original target of 10:1. Wherever possible, we'll seek to reduce it further. We will also want to look at ensuring that we can do that in a way that also allows us to deliver the services. So I can't commit to saying that we do that year on year. But what I would say is we will endeavour to try to do that, but as often as possible to keep that pay ratio at or below the current level. In response to the second question, we are moving towards reducing our reliance on interims and agency staff. In fact, in a few moments' time, we'll be appointing permanent positions for our Chief Executive Officer and Chief Finance Officer, as long as that gets the approval of full council. Often, when we employ interims, they're often very experienced and they are employed for a particular role, and because that level of experience and expertise, often the way that is being paid will be higher, particularly because it will be a day rate rather than a salary.
Thank you very much, Councillor Dyer. So we'll move on to public question 7 from Matt Sanders on busgate enforcement. And there are 3 questions for Councillor Powell. Councillor Powell, do you want to take all 3 at once?
Sure, yeah. I'm going to read the answer I've got is just a date, so I thought it would be helpful if I rotated the question just for everyone. So since the 3rd of October 2023, Parking Services were issuing premature reminder letters for bus lanes and bus gate PCMs, excuse me. Since the same date, similar letters have been issued in relation to parking offences, but not, for CAS penalties, but not for parking offences, because that was never incorrectly put in place. And then, how many drivers have received premature reminder letters? The answer is for bus lanes, 69 PCNs were affected. For CAS, 215 PCNs were affected. It was only 2 of many different progression paths that were incorrectly configured within a 21-day schedule rather than the correct 28-day schedule. This issue was corrected in early September as soon as it was brought to our attention by Mr. Sanders. So I'd like to thank you, Matt, for your incredible persistence and hard work in helping us get it right, because this is obviously important. The area, I could go on to say that the area really only occurred for a small number of people who had challenged their fine and not been successful in that challenge to the council. The impact of this was that opponents were mistakenly given the impression that they would no longer have time to appeal to the independent adjudication service when in fact they still had a week to do so. And I'd like to apologise for any confusion or inconvenience caused by this mistake.
Matt, you've got 2 supplementary should you wish.
Okay. Thank you, Ed. I came here not expecting to get any numbers or dates or anything, so thank you very much. I actually brought this matter to the Council's attention in July as part of these appeals to the Traffic Penalty Tribunal. So the Parking Services Department were notified at that point of this procedural impropriety and obviously carried on issuing the letters for 2 months after that. A supplementary question could be who told you that it was in September. And also, I've been helping, I don't know, about 20 people perhaps with parking, with traffic penalty tribunal cases. And I've seen 7 of these letters relating to bus lanes and bus gates. So if the council only issued 69 of them in relation to the, I estimate it must be over 100,000 bus lane fines that have been issued in the last 12 months. It's been going on for 12 months.
Matt, can you get your question as quickly as possible, please?
Okay, my question is, I don't believe it, and who told you these numbers?
I don't believe it. I don't think it's a question. The answer is, it says here that the answer was written by Sarah Clark, parking manager, and signed off by Sean Taylor, head of highways. I do think it's worth saying that the people that are affected by this were people who've had challenged and been unsuccessful in challenging the council's decision. So there's probably a much higher propensity that they would be maybe going on to deal with the tribunal. So I think that's probably maybe not a random sample of people, but a quite purposeful sample of people, many of whom may subsequently have been in contact with you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Councillor Bowden. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so the next question is from David Redrow, question 8, and that's on bus service at Ashdown Railway Station. There are actually 3 questions here, again from Councillor Bowden. Councillor Bowden, back to you again.
Hi, Dave. I was going to answer your questions. So an EQI was carried out on the new Ashdown station, but it didn't include the bus stops in depth because they were not part of the scheme itself. In fact, it didn't even include thinking about the width of the Concord Way, because that was not part of the scheme itself. The current issues for the bus stops relate to plant road from Network Rail land, so we're liaising with Network Rail and Wicked to resolve this issue and ensure that the vegetation is cut back. We're also reviewing the function and design of these stops as part of the Miller Road scheme that's currently under development, and of course, as any development within the City Council's control will take a full EQI will take place. So that's your answer to your first question. The second question was about your statement, really, wasn't it, about the right-hand turn. So first group have been consulted at various points during the development of the city centre proposals, and specifically in relation to the proposals around Lower Moreland Street and egress from the bus station. We've noted the first bus response and the bus station. We've noted the first bus response and the consultation will consider to the consultation, and we will consider it alongside all the other representations. All options for the design of Union Street, Lower Malden Street and Junction will be considered to achieve the aims of the projects and deliver benefits as sustainable transport modes. If relevant, staff from First Bus, National Express and Flixbus, if relevant staff, request a meeting in Bristol City Council, will of course consider it, but can't speak for the Metro now. I'm pleased to say that we've had 1,938 responses to the consultation, and we're going to work through those proactively, and I personally will be taking responsibility to make sure that we're doing that in a proper way, so that it might be best for anyone that wants to contact us for a meeting to wait until we've had that time to consider our responses and make those clear to people. And then the third question is, on the 23rd of September, leaders of Bristol City Council, Bath and North East Somerset Council and South Gloucestershire Council wrote to the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government in support of North Somerset's expression of interest in joining the West of England Combined Authority.
David, you've got two supplementaries, should you wish.
Yeah, my first supplementary is I welcome the response, but I'm not sure even tonight, as a wheelchair user, and Brendan Taylor would have been here, but I think he's stuck in the water. Neither of us can get on and off the bus, and I'm pleased to tell me it's Network Rail at Ashley Down Station to South Mead Hospital. I wonder if we can push Network Rail to part of this power station development, so if we can ask them to cut that bus stop, we'd be extremely grateful.
Consider it done.
And my second question, really, I understand the issue with First Bus and Stagecoach, which are our local providers. My concern is that my contact's been with National Express. This is a major hub for the South West, it's economic development, Flix going there as well, but they don't run the network, the National Express does. They keep full-time staff there, and it runs 24/7, more or less, at that bus station. I wonder if you would consider having a conversation with the directors of National Express. That one particularly worries me, because it's time for the school to change, and they go out via the city centre, via the bus gate, and out onto the wider southwest, and I believe some of them go southwest. So that's really my question, is the coaches, and talk to Western Gateway and potential about coaches.
I think we're taking the consultation responses from all of the companies very, very seriously. I think really happy to meet anyone relevant to my role, but I think it'd be best for us to work through these, make the amendments, and see if that's still if that's still a problem for the operators.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that concludes the questions received from members of the public. A reminder that written replies will be published on our website in the next 2 days for all public questions received. Sorry we didn't have time to speak today. I'd like to inform members of the public that the adjournment for today's meeting is expected at 7:20, and I invite you to remain if you'd like to hear the other agenda items. If not, please can you leave as quietly and as swiftly as possible. Thank you very much.
My Lord Mayor, I must protest.
No, you mustn't. Thank you. We're now moving on.
Yes, I must. Yes, I must. Yes, I must. Yes, I must. I submitted the statement in proper time for this meeting. It was you as
Please can I have order in the public gallery? If the disruption to the meeting continues, I will have no choice but to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. Yes, that's an acceptable thing for you to do.
Okay, agenda item 7 is
a
petition...
protest against statements being rejected. I sent my statement in good time. It was rejected, and I contacted you yesterday asking for reasons why it was being rejected. I specifically asked which of defamation, frivolity, or offensiveness it was, what was the grounds it was being rejected on. The statement was about a small matter of unlawfulness in this council. What is the point of inviting members of the public to attend council meetings if when they submit statements pointing out very small areas of law that those statements get blocked?
Agenda item 7 is
I must protest. I must protest.
Please can I have order in the public gallery? This is my final warning. If the disruption continues, I will adjourn the meeting. You are disrupting democracy. Please sit down.
You can explain to me why my statement was not allowed, if you wish. Or you can order me removed from the meeting.
Agenda item 7, petition...
I must protest! I must protest! I must protest! You had plenty of time to discuss with me what the problem was with my statement, the basis for why it was being rejected, and you chose not to. You have a personal obligation to carry out this meeting in a lawful manner. Rejecting statements on unlawful grounds is unlawful.
Need a battery change.
Sorry?
He's getting good. Let me see if I can get it down quick. They've adjourned the meeting and clearing the public gallery, guys.
You don't need to remove the whole of the public, but that is your choice.
You don't have to go.
There's a adjournment. They've adjourned the meeting. Well, it looks like we're being cleared out, guys. This is what democracy looks like, really. Clearing the public gallery. As I said, they're clearing us out.
What does they bring forward? So as part of the council complaints process, and then on action, and person.
I will be in the chair on Friday, so
go and see if they're going to reopen it now he's gone.
Is this going to go on Facebook?
Facebook, yeah.
Brilliant. Is this going to go on Facebook?
Facebook, yeah.
Brilliant.
Everywhere. I mean, what you did in there is brilliant. And they not, this is the first time that we've
I'm definitely, so I'm very invested on seeing what happened. You're looking for the point.
Well, I can't see it. How quickly you get like 30 minutes public hearing and only 1 minute to speak. I think that's quite disgusting. I've never been for public hearing before.
Thank you so much.
I think that's pretty disgusting. And you move it out, right? Yeah, that's undemocratic. Because I know what's going on in that chamber now. That's concerning Bristol residents. And I'm constituent, like
We're all going back in, aren't we?
Are we going back in?
Let's get in there.
I did the whole army 2 years ago. And the 70% don't want to. Right from the very beginning. And it's still carried on for 2 years.
So what is this? Is this the...
It's free. It's not a rat run.
No, it's not. Well, do you want... You don't want...
I don't want it.
No.
Because...
Now they want to get everybody...
They want to...
Take a leaflet with the one that we can to get us there.
Because
Thank you very much.
You know, I'm dedicated to £8 a day, you know, travelling. Now, if they want us to, you know, I was told years ago, buy a diesel car because it's cleaner. You know, I was told years ago, buy a diesel car because it's cleaner. Cars, you know, they get penalised.
I'm one of them.
Cars, you know, they get penalised.
I'm one of them.
I know the law, and I have a couple neighbourhood. It's 15 minutes city. Couple neighbourhood. It's 15 minutes city.
Yeah.
I love having shops and amenities. Yet they're closing. They've closed Hengrove Leisure Complex. That's now, you know, there's no cinema there, no bowling there, you know, we've got no bowling. They closed the bingo hall, that's no longer open, so there's no leisure facilities. All we've got is a swimming pool. But that services the whole of South Bristol. Not, and obviously you've got the little pool down Venice, you know, places like that. And yeah, I don't think typical neighbourhoods and closing streets is actually the way to go forward, because, you know, years ago it was like driving 30 miles an hour and you won't kill a child. Now it's driving 20 miles an hour, which you think, well, hang on a minute. You know, it's getting stupid. And now you can't use our cars. They've introduced these electric scooters into the city, yet they just hiked the price by 37% within 2 days. And at the same, you can drive around the city for less than £1.
And we're back, see if anyone's there. Oh God. That's a bit mad, wasn't it? Right. Who's here then? Let's have a look. Anyone here? Anyone here? Night interview has been on. Hi, generic. Hello. That was a little test, but I didn't expect that to happen in that council meeting. So, yeah, I must protest. We all got booted out. Yeah, you're allowed back in, but I'm not going to go back in because I want to edit the video in a minute. I just wanted to see that I'll be allowed and I'll be left alone. I didn't bring like all the batteries and shit with me, so I'm gonna knock it in the head.
Yeah, been looking for you. Thought you left me. Don't do anything with high-tech stuff with me.
There you go, that's me.
Ah, right. We're going to have to run downstairs.
Yeah. I know all the socials, Facebook.
I wish I wouldn't nothing low-tech. I don't know, I'm just talking to you. You ain't got a car enough.
I haven't, I did have, but I printed them all out, but then give them all out. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No worries at all.
You're local, are you?
Up in Hartford.
I think I already asked you that. I'm getting old and
Oh yeah, we're all getting old. It's because that guy was disrupting. I'm just talking on my thing. Because the guy was disrupting the meeting, adjourned the meeting, cleared the public gallery. The guy actually is now left, so they've allowed everyone back in, including myself. I was allowed to go back in, but I haven't got enough battery power tonight because I didn't bring it all. I will the next time. That was pretty good. The reason why he protested is because he submitted a question within time about the livable neighbourhoods, that they don't want them, and they ignored his question by all accounts. So stay tuned. I'm going up to their meetings. I've got a leaflet actually. Yeah, I got a leaflet. But I got the video, that's why he was protesting, because they ignored his question and he said he submitted it within the relevant time. So, wait out on this. This is for obviously generic your way as well. They're protesting about that, but these are from Barton Hill, the scheme where it's running. But there's people from Bedminster there as well.
Yeah. No worries. See you later. Nice to meet you now. Bye. Right, guys, the news today. I'm just, networking. So give us a minute. It's going to be dark now. Right, guys. I'm going to wait for the video to come out later. It's a Lord Mayor's car. Video will be out later of them going, I protest, I protest. So we'll wait out for that. So in the meantime,